Hello, so this will be the first episode of the Painted Paycheck where I discuss some art and business advice and generally how to navigate through this art industry so you can become a successful artist. The first thing that I want to talk about is how do you really get a job in the art industry. So of course there's lots of ways of going about it, but I'm not gonna discuss concrete steps on what to do, but I just want to introduce two general approaches on how you should go about this so you don't waste your time barking up the wrong tree. So I think of getting a job as two primary ways, and those two ways are highways and shortcuts. So for the highway, of course, joining the highway also means joining the traffic. It can be quite brutal to pass your CVs or your resume multiple times and get rejected, but you'll get there eventually. You'll find the job eventually by going about this method. It's just a competitive landscape since you're on a highway with lots of people trying to do the same thing as you, but it's more foolproof and easily reproducible. People have done it many times before, and so can you. Now, the second one is the shortcuts. And of course, shortcuts are the more enticing approach. The rewards might be greater than going through the highway and for less work, of course, since you're not sharing the road to as much people. But trying out a shortcut might also get you lost and you have nothing to show for it, which is why taking shortcuts require you to have some form of knowledge of what's happening in the industry. You might realize that the most ludicrous jobs come from one specific brand, company, or art director. You might hear some news that a particular company is looking for someone, but they don't have a job posting it. It's a common practice that they look for candidates before they put a job listing, because putting a job listing for that particular role is kind of like a legal requirement in some countries or in most countries, but that doesn't stop them from looking ahead of time and already have a candidate for that job listing before they actually post it. So that's actually something I've learned quite recently, but I didn't know that when I was applying for jobs when I was just started out. So insider knowledge is usually gotten from just participating in the industry. Once you've gone through the highway, you'll get to see the shortcuts that other people don't know, but are potentially more rewarding compared to normal jobs. At the same time, it's not that reliable. It requires a fair bit of luck with timing and knowing the right people. For example, I have lots of insider knowledge regarding being a gallery artist here in the Philippines. Lots of my friends are gallery artists, so they just share stuff to me about what's happening to their career, and they willingly tell me that if I ever want to participate in a career like theirs, they'll hook me up with some curators or collectors they're friends with. So if ever I don't want to do digital paintings anymore or stop working on advertising, I can pivot my career to being a traditional gallery artist because most of the work is already done for me. It's a shortcut. It's part nepotism, it's part luck, part being friends with just really cool people, but the timing is not right for me, at least, since I'm not considering to pivot my career just yet. So this is a shortcut that I'm not really going to take right now, at least. So right now, if you're a student or a fresh graduate or in general don't know where to begin, start with a proven method. The quirks of how the industry works isn't something that you can just read from an article or read from a book or watch from YouTube. They're just the stories that your coworkers share at lunch break, the conferences and meetings that you get to see with high-profile people and executives, and the client horror stories that's on your department's group chat. These things don't get broadcasted in broad daylight. It's unprofessional and it might even get you fired. So the only way to have access to these shortcuts based on insider info is to be just in the industry. Be an employee inside the company or make friends with your coworkers, and in general, just expand your network. So yeah, I think those are just the two main approaches, depending on what stage you're in your career and in your journey. I just think that it's important to distinguish these two particular ways of going into the industry, so you can easily tell which approach is going to work best for you. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.